So this is the rest of lesson 4.5. In lesson 4.5, we're talking about scatter plots, positive correlations, negative correlations, and how to graph. So where we left off in class is how do we do this on the calculator. So here's what we're going to do. First thing you have to do is you have to set up your calculator so it will do everything that needs to happen. And at any time in this, if you feel like if I'm going too fast, just pause the video and catch up. So in your notes, it says, we left off here. We left off with this page. We had talked about scatter plots and creating an equation from a trend line. So we're right here. So we're going to follow it. Everything is pretty much step by step, but I'm going to show you just on the computer screen. So you go here, and the first step talks about best fit lines. There's a button called Mode, which is next to the second button. Press that. And then you're going to use your arrows and go down to Stat Diagnostics. And you're going to go and you're going to turn it on. So move your cursor over to On by Stat Diagnostics and then press Enter. So there it's on. And then from here, we're going to go set this up to make scatter plots. So we have to go to second stat plot. So on the keypad, look at the blue second button and then press Stat Plot. That opens this window, and my stat plots are off. I want plot number 1 to be on. So again, we're going to use the arrow, make sure we're on 1, and then press Enter. Make sure you're following down below if you lose track of my steps. And then we want plot 1 to be on, so you have to press Enter on this. Okay, the other ones we're going to leave as a default, so you don't need to change those. So just leave that alone. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to, we did that page, now we're going to go to this page. We're going to take this table that's here and we're going to put this into the calculator, and we're going to use the Stat and then Edit option. But the only tricky thing here is that X is the number of years since 2000, so you have to know that for X value, this would be 9 years since 2000, 10 years, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. The cost is going to be our Y values in the table. In the calculator, though, under the Stat option, this is called L1, and this is called L2. Okay, so you'll see what I mean. The directions are there. So here I go over to my calculator. Go to Stat. It's the button on the same row as the alpha button. Press Stat. We want to edit. In this screen there are several menus you can get to just by moving your cursor over, but we want to use Edit. So make sure 1 is highlighted and press Enter. And then in here we're going to put our values. So L1 was the 9, 10, 11, 12. So 9, Enter, 10, Enter. Okay, I made a mistake, so I'm just going to go up there and type over it. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and that's all the data from that table in the notes. Then the cost, for 9 it was 10, oops, made a mistake, 10.5, okay, that was still 10, so 10, Enter, 10.5, 11, Enter, 13, Enter, 15, Enter, 15.75, Enter. All right, a little bit of an interruption there. Okay, so make sure you have your data in your table. That again was from Stat, Edit. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to plot just these coordinate points. So on your calculator, there's a button Zoom near the top. Click on Zoom. And then you're going to do Zoom Stat. See that number 9 down below? You can either press the number 9 or go down to 9 and press Enter. So what it'll do is it'll fit the window around all of those dots that you just created. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to create the linear regression line. In other words, the trend line that goes through these points. So to do this, you're going to go to Stat. Edit is where we did the table, but we're going to go over to the right to the menu that's Calc. And then you're going to go down to number 4 linear regression AX plus B, and press enter. You're going to go down to store. X, Y are L1 and L2, so just don't mess with those, but you're going to do alpha, then trace, and then enter to put the Y1 variable right there, and then go down to calculate. So if you need to repeat this, just stop the video and back up. So calculate. So there's our equation of our line. It is y equals 1.21x minus 1.46, and the linear regression is 0.98. So I probably have something wrong with my data. I'm going to go back and check it. Stat edit. So I need to check 10, 10.5, 11, 13, 15, 15.75, 16.5. I'm going to pause this for. So everything checks out. So stat, calc, number 4 is the one that got me there. Okay, but every time I do this, I have to put that variable there if I want it to know that y1 is the equation of the line. So make sure you do alpha, trace, enter, go down to calculate, then press enter. Okay, the 0.98, the R, the one at the bottom, the closer it is to 1 or -1, the better the graph will be, the better the data fits the line. So if it was 0.6, we would have a lot of dots all over the screen with not much of a pattern. But since it's 0.98, that's a good value. All right, so now we're going to graph this. I want you to see what this looks like. Because we put that y1 in with alpha trace, now when I go to y equals, it actually puts the equation in there for me. So now if I want to graph this, it'll graph the trend line. So there's a trend line and there's the dots. So your job in the assignment is to go and create linear regression lines with stat edit and stat calc, and then you're going to come up with an equation like we did with this one. So trace, alpha trace. Okay, and then this is what you're going to use to calculate for your problems on the assignment. There's one that talks about a median regression. To do that one, you can try it if you want to, but you can just skip that one. I'll let you do that. No penalties to your completion grade. This is stat, calc, number 3 is median. So don't worry about it or try it. It doesn't matter to me. I just want you to know how to do linear regression. All right, have fun.